This is Weather Authority Weekday.
Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Chris Holtzman here. Of course, it's the Weather Authority Weekday. We have a lot of weather to talk about. Certainly was an active weekend for some of us, especially along the coast. We had some spots pick up over 5 inches of rain. We're also talking about Melissa and even a big chill in the forecast as we head into the upcoming week. Let me show you what we have. The good news with our alerts. Remember yesterday I was on the air with you in the evening. We had several flood advisories for St. Johns County, also Nassau County, where over 4 to 5 inches of rain fell. The good news for our area, we are not under any flood alert. Flooding concerns generally south of our region into the Melbourne office there, and that is due to some spots into Volusia County points south, getting close to a foot of rain with some of the activity yesterday. But one thing to note, I want to show you our rainfall totals. Now, most of these totals were picked up in the span of around 6 hours or less, and that is why we had that flood advisory in effect for our area. And some spots, notice near World Golf Village in St. Johns County over to Durban, right along I-95, picking up close to 4 to even 5 inches of rain. Also near Ponte Vedra over to Palm Valley, seeing some of that activity. Now, the good news for us right now, relatively dry, some light activity ongoing this morning across southeast Georgia into Glynn and Camden counties. Most of the activity is off into the open waters of the Atlantic, but a warm front is lifting north. Now, I do think for those of us in Georgia, that front will struggle for most of the day to lift into your area. South of the front across northeast Florida, it is warm and humid out there, certainly not feeling like fall, and that means we could have a little bit of instability for some storms to work with by the afternoon. Here's a live look in St. Augustine. A nice looking shot here, some sunshine. And temperature is certainly very comfortable as well. Let me show you another live look here. This is the Doctors Lake Marina, and you can see that we had a wind-driven rain last night. Not seeing that activity this morning. A temperature right now 75 degrees and a bit humid as well. We have a southeasterly wind, and as a result, that is certainly bringing in more of that moisture around. There's that wind direction change. Remember yesterday and even on Saturday, we had that northeasterly wind that brought some of those coastal showers, but that front is lifted to the north, and that's why we have that southerly wind. Actually, if you look to the right of the map by St. Mary's, see how those arrows are very close together? That's the approximate position of that warm front. So north of that front, it's a bit cooler, not as humid. South of the front is where that humidity is. And temperatures reflect that. Look at Waycross, up to 64 right now, 72 in Brunswick, 74 in St. Mary's. We have McClenny at 73, Green Cove Springs up to 74, and we're in the mid to upper 70s, generally east of I-95. So through the next couple of hours into the afternoon, if you are heading out for any lunch plans, we are looking at temperatures in the 70s. With the chance for some showers and storms. Not everyone will see this, but they will be kind of widespread later today. So make sure to have the rain gear handy, and then into Tuesday morning, we are drying out and we're cooling down as well over the next few days. Temperatures by tonight, 56 degrees in Waycross, up to 64 in St. Mary's, and up to 68 in Green Cove Springs. So we are looking at slightly lower temperatures for tonight, but still temperatures are quite comfortable out there. Now into our day on Tuesday, we're looking at certainly cooler weather with most of us in the 70s, even some 60s north of Brunswick. But temperatures will be generally comfortable. Average highs in the upper 70s. We are below that for most of us. And we'll see those below normal temperatures continue through the middle to the end of the upcoming week. Futurecast shows on Tuesday, starting out the day with clouds. And then some sunshine will return later in the day as that system clears. So there's that warm front by this evening. It's well to our north across the Carolinas, bringing rain there. That front moves offshore. And then behind that front, notice our wind will turn northeasterly. And that'll bring in some cooler, drier air. But that secondary front you can see over Texas, that front moves in our direction later in the week. That is a strong cold front. Now, the passage of the front will be relatively dry. Very small chance of an isolated shower late Wednesday into very early Thursday morning. That front will help to steer Melissa away from Florida. I'll talk about Melissa in a second. but much cooler air will arrive behind that front just in time for Halloween. In fact, look at our upper level wind and temperature forecast. Now, this is the temperature a couple thousand feet in the air, but it does a really good job of showing us where the cooler air is. And look at over most of the country as that air moves to the south behind the front. That's when we're looking at temperatures in the 60s. How about that by Thursday and Friday? With low temperatures, get ready for this. How about 40s as we head into the trick-or-treat forecast? So chilly temperatures. Yeah, Francine is happy about that, but we are looking at some cool. It has been. So yeah, much comfortable temperatures to have the costume on and trick or treat. And then it looks like the coolest of the air will lift to the north by Friday into the upcoming weekend. Now let's talk about Melissa. This is a very strong hurricane, a textbook looking storm, clearly very symmetric on satellite. And this is a very clear eye indicating some of that strengthening of the system. This is expected to be a Category 5 hurricane prior to making landfall in Jamaica at some point tomorrow. Now, the issue with this system is the speed, because this is only moving at around 3 to 5 miles per hour. So you can practically run faster than this system is moving, and this will bring feet of rain to Jamaica, portions of Hispaniola, into Cuba before picking up in speed as it gets caught up with that front that's pushing across our area as we head into the day. At least Tuesday into Wednesday. So latest information on Melissa. This is the 8 o'clock advisory. Next advisory is at 11. Movement from the to the west at 3 miles per hour. So how about that? Very slow. Pressure is very low. The lower that millibar, the stronger the storm is. And the wind now is 160 miles per hour. Pretty strong, significant system. And that is why, of course, we are watching certainly some significant impacts to Jamaica and Cuba and portions of Hispaniola. But again, this picks up in speed later in the week as it gets caught up with that front. And folks in Bermuda will need to watch the system by the weekend. It is a weaker system and it is moving faster, but still some significant impacts expected into the Bermuda area. 7-day forecast, so get ready for the chill as we head into the end of the week. So behind that secondary front, we are looking at temperatures in the upper 60s by Thursday and Friday. Now, it's still pretty pleasant because we have a sunny sky. The sun's still strong this time of year, so even with highs in the 60s, it should feel very comfortable out there. But overnight, we are looking at lows in the 40s, so some chilly temperatures, well below normal temperatures in terms of our lows. So for the trick-or-treating forecast, of course, that icon should be on Friday for Halloween. But if you still want to enjoy the candy Saturday, by all means, go ahead. Looking at temperatures in the 70s with overnight lows in the 50s. So we're continuing to track a couple things here in our area, that threat for some chilly weather and even the potential for some storms later today. Of course, we'll continue to track that. You can get the latest information on the weather app, of course, and we'll be on air. Of course, Michelle will be on at noon, and Richard will be on in the afternoon with the latest information. But for now, though, have a great rest of your day.
See why every day more people are choosing News4JAX, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.